there's other elements to it. It was a unique position to be in at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, what we're going to do is the next party trick, no idea. But that kind of wasn't the point, so who cares?
You were a big band and you were leaving your labels, or you were possibly leaving your labels. So.
We saw a cliff and we wanted to jump.
Exactly, yeah.
But it also, to us, reminded us very much of the sort of, you know, the 60s, 70s, all the books that well, I haven't read that many, but he has. You know, all the bits of how out there the music industry used to be, like complete sort of nonsense, chaos, like, you know, drug-taking maniacs with too much money and no idea what they were doing, just... But into whatever music they were pursuing at the time, you know.
Okay, but you're saying like...
But now, whereas now, you know, like someone like EMI is now run by someone who, I don't know, is a venture capitalist or whatever. It's a very rationalised sort of, this is a product, this is, you know, no one is thinking, oh, we're going to change the world with this, we're going to affect people's emotions. It's like, no, it's not about that.
But do you think that if by empowering the consumer, which is what this thing did, that you humanised Radiohead a bit more as well, and you realised, this is great what we did. We didn't necessarily realise what we were doing. We knew it was quite a good thing. This is a really good thing.
How do you mean humanised?
Well, let's put it this way. The definition of, like... OK, there was 1 million articles written about what you did in all the weirdest magazines and all the strangest places. Your name cropped up in places that had never cropped up in before, right? One of them would be in kind of, like, how much is a piece of art kind of worth type articles. Like, you know, maybe it's not worth... Just put the art out there because it reflects the society from which it came and all these kind of definitions, and let's see what happens. Now, I'm not saying that that was some great idea that you had that you wanted to do, but that's how it resulted to some people. Said, this is a great thing that these guys are doing. And what you did was, you made the consumer feel as though they were part of something you were, without necessarily having to be a corporate whore, if you like, by going into a record shop and helping Clive Davis make loads of money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
you do?
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, well, the thing is, the way you started out is that one of the big things for me when I left college was that whatever work the band was doing would stay within public consciousness as much as possibly could be. Like all the artists I admired at the time when I left college. Regardless of where their work ended up, like Rothko, for example, the power of it is impacted on general sort of public consciousness permanently, you know, and it's not exactly a pop art thing, but I've always had a real problem with the art world, the elitism of the art world, and the idea of the collector and the idea of the increased value and all these people like that come along with it. And the record business has that same element to it, where once an artist is successful, they are dealt with in a different way, and all these mechanics come into play and stuff. And I mean, there was this really bizarre moment at the end of OK Computer where, you know, no harm done or whatever, but it was me and Stanley found it highly amusing. They did this sort of survey about who they could target the record at. Once that they'd sold X many millions, they had this target market thing where they tried to establish who they could target OK Computer at next. And we became obsessed about it and managed to get hold of the marketing research and used it as artwork for something, can't remember what now. Because we just thought, this is utterly absurd. This is like, you know... Anyway.
But that's what they do, consumer products.
No, I know. I know. I've never really got my head around that because if you talk to any of the artists concerned, they would be like,